What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Mags. So of course on this video I'm just going to be talking really about what my thoughts are on the appointment of Eddie Howe. I know I've already done a video on this, but I want to get it out there. You know, there's a lot of people saying that it's a bad appointment by Newcastle United. We should have went for somebody like a Unai Emery, you know, somebody that plays possession football, knows how to defend. But to be honest, looking at it, you know, look at what Eddie Howe's done in the last few days since coming in. You know, he's proven to me so far, before we even played a game against Bournemouth yet, you know, that he's the right man for the job. He knows what he wants. He's got the ideas, you know, and he's looking forward. He's ready to go all in on Newcastle. He said that in the interview yesterday in the press conference. You know, he spoke well, unlike, of course, the previous head coach in Steve Bruce, who, you know, just stuttered and hammered and hard all the way through his pressers or even interviews, to be honest. And you look at Eddie Howe, you know, compared to Steve Bruce, and Eddie Howe is punctual. He knows what he's talking about. He doesn't hammer and haw, you know, he's straight to the point as well. He's very friendly with the media as well. He's not being arrogant, he's not being rude, he's not being disrespectful, something that Steve Bruce was doing, you know. And even looking at his first training session on the Newcastle United channel over on YouTube, absolutely brilliant, miles ahead of what Steve Bruce was doing at the club. Steve Bruce wasn't even doing anything, to be honest. He was just standing around, hands in his pockets. Most of the time he was probably in his office eating, to be honest, or just having a nap, because, you know, he's a dinosaur. And here we've got a 48-year-old man coming into the club in Eddie Howe, absolutely up for the job. Of course, some might say, you know, he's been out of the job for a while now. Will he be able to still cut it the way he was cutting it at Bournemouth? You know, but like he said himself, you know, he might have been out of the job, but he wasn't sitting on his arse. He wasn't, you know, waiting for the next job to come along. He was out there, he was learning, you know, and picking up himself from them mistakes that happened at Bournemouth, you know. And to be honest, there weren't really mistakes neither, you know, because it wasn't really his fault. There was injuries at Bournemouth that happened, you know. COVID came on the scene. We had to take that big break due to the whole COVID coming on the scene as well. So, you know, a lot of people blame the relegation of Bournemouth on Eddie Howe, but it's not really the guy's fault at the end of the day. There's not really much you can do when your players are dropping like flies. And of course, the whole COVID pandemic, you know, with the big massive break that we had to take during that, of course, and it's still going on now. You know, COVID is still a thing in football. You know, it's still a thing in this world, and it probably will be a thing in this world for the foreseeable future, to be honest. You know, it's never going to go away now. It's part of the ecosystem in this world now, and we'll have to just deal with it, you know. But to blame Eddie Howe for the relegation of Bournemouth is absolutely ridiculous and disrespectful. You know, what that guy did for that club is absolutely amazing. You know, he took them from League 2 minus 17 points and took them all the way up to the Premier League and kept them in the Premier League for 5 years, with crowds less than 10,000 going to them games, by the way, and with very little money being pumped into that club as well. You know, to be able to keep a team like Bournemouth, who were minus 17 points down in League 2, taking them all the way up to the Premier League, keeping them in the Premier League for 5 years. You know, for me, Eddie Howe is going to be absolutely fantastic at Newcastle, and I'll put my money on that. You know, he is going to be an absolutely great manager. Yes, it'll take time. He said it'll take time. The new owners have said it'll take time at the club. We're not going to get instant results immediately, but to be honest, looking at Eddie Howe, he is the guy for me. You know, he is going to be the one, you know, that will keep Newcastle United up in this Premier League. And to be honest, you know, he's far greater manager than Steve Bruce, let's face it. You know, Steve Bruce, a 60-year-old man, or Eddie Howe, a 48-year-old man, raring to go, ready to go and get himself back out there, you know, and prove himself once again. And he's said it's an absolute honour as well to manage a club like Newcastle United. That in itself, you know, coming for a guy that doesn't even come from the area, you know, is absolutely amazing. He spoke about the legends that walked through the tunnel at St James's Park out onto that absolutely beautiful stretch of grass at St James's Park as well. You know, that to me says he is going to be absolutely amazing at this club. He knows what this club means to the area, and he's going to be an absolutely amazing manager. And I can't wait to see his first game against Brentford coming up. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Let us know your thoughts, of course, down in the comments below. Until next time, I'll see you all later, and how are the lads?